Evening everyone, hope you're well as we're about to kickstart the evening here on the latest Johnny Clark Top Tier show, and Jake Pollard makes his way to the ring. Very much the bricks, mortar and the foundations of this sport of boxing. Guys like Pollard rarely wins, in fact only once in his career so far, but there to teach the young pups a lesson or two and to help in their development along the way.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome his opponent to the ring, Zach Phee.
I think IQ is the most important thing in boxing, but I think I'm quite intelligent. I like to think and try and outsmart my opponent. You know, I like to pick up on what they do. I study a lot of boxing, I study every single day. I like to just improve myself all round.
There that is. Those left hooks will be going in. There's another one. Whips in. There's a left hook. Now he's starting to turn the screw. 3 or 4, 5 coming in from Phee. 3 or 4, 5 punches in the combination. And there comes the towel. And he built up.
So I like to think that that will be the separating factor between me and other boxers. Everybody can be strong. Everybody can be fit, but not everybody can think. I feel like on April the 27th, I'll do the same thing. I'll show everybody how good I am.
First outing of 2024 for Zach Phee, and he starts with a 6-rounder. Moving up in distance, he started his career last summer on a Johnny Clark bill. He's been part of a top tier story right from the very start. And the truth is, Johnny and his team, I think, have got one of the hidden gems on this circuit. We've been lucky enough to see his career development, and he's not just a boxer who's improving fight to fight. He's a young fighter who's improving markedly round to round, and that marks him out as potentially going places. Really looking forward to the next leg of this adventure. Barry Jones, former world champion, has been really impressed over the last year or so with Zach Phee, and I know George Groves, who joins me here tonight alongside Andy Clark, was mighty impressed when we saw him back in December. George, he really did take a big step forward that night.
No, he certainly did. Alex is an exceptionally talented fighter, someone who shows really good composure and experience way beyond his record. So I'm really looking forward to seeing this guy, and it's a privilege to catch him this early in his career, see his developments. In a bantamweight, you will be able to move this guy quick. So it's going to be a tough job with the matching and etc. But I'm really looking forward to tonight.
He's been terrific. You can see there his age on the tail of the tape. He's only 19, some way younger than Jake Pollard at 32. Not much to choose between them in terms of height and weight. Slight reach advantage, but it's the variety and the development in such a short space of time that has marked out Zach Phee. As we count down to our opening contest of 8 coming up tonight. Let's get all the details now with Huss.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout scheduled for 6 3-minute rounds in the bantamweight division. This bout is brought to you by Johnny Clark of Top Tier Boxing and their proud sponsors, by Insulations, Think Green Partners, Synergy Direct, and Triple Solar. This bout is sanctioned by the British Boxing Board of Control. Your timekeeper at the bell, John Smith, and the third man in charge of the action in the ring, referee Reese Carter. And now, ladies and gentlemen, introducing to you first, fighting out of the red corner. He's wearing the white and red. His official weight of 8 stones, 8 pounds. He has a record of 66 fights with 1 win. Hailing from Brentwood, Yorkshire, England, United Kingdom, Jake Pollard. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner. He's wearing the black and orange. His official weight of 8 stones, 10 pounds. He is currently undefeated with 3 wins, and one of those wins coming by way of knockout. Hailing from Sittingbourne, Kent, England's United Kingdom, introducing Zach Phee!
Here we go then, first fight of the night. Really looking forward to seeing Zach Phee once again. Andy Clark, who's called most venues all across the world, and particularly in the UK, joins us ringside as well. Andy, you've seen him on tape. Looking forward to getting to see him in the flesh for the first time tonight.
Very much so, because everything I've heard from yourselves and from others is that he definitely is a fighter to watch, and at 19, obviously, he has all the time in the world. Jake Pollard, a very experienced guy, though. Got Jimmy First in his corner, who's hung the gloves up himself not that long ago, starting up his own gym, and very few fighters stop Pollard. As you said, Alex, he's one of a number of operators who's the backbone of the sport, really, so Fee's going to have to work hard for any openings here.
Pollard's sole career win just under a year ago was against Louis Smithsman, the same man who Zach Phee was ultra impressive in stopping last time up. So just a little bit of context there about how good he looked and who he was in against last time, Phee. But it was the variety, the upper body movement was one of the things that we really saw develop last time out, George.
Yeah, well, at this stage of his career, he's got to find the openings and create the openings at times. So Pollard here starting his high hands, tight guard. He doesn't want to give away any openings because he knows Fee's going to be sharp and he punches hard. He's going to find them openings. So at this stage, first round, cautious start, which I think is the right thing, but he's having a look. He's trying to find them openings, trying to create them openings. And then always aware that Pollard's there to punch back, isn't he?
Yeah, a little reminder there from Pollard, and that's his job tonight. Just to remind Zach Phee that it won't be, or won't always be, one-way traffic. There you can see again, having taken a couple of meaty body shots earlier on, Pollard just flicking out a left hook to remind Phee to keep on his mettle. Nice stabbing jab to the body there from Phee this time too.
He's looked for that right hand round the back of the guard a couple of times, Phee, and I think that could work for him, because you look at Pollard and he's quite heavily on that front foot, isn't he? He leans in a bit and that guard's nice and high, but there is space in behind that left glove.
Again, the left hook defiant from Pollard. Good defence with those elbows too. Managed to guard against the left hook to the body from Phee, but a little bit of variety from Phee, taking his time as he gets through with a 1-2 and a right hand. And that body shot sneaked under the elbow.
A nice left body there from Phee. But as Andy says, Pollard's got this tight guard. He is leaving an opening behind the elbows to the body, but the hands have got to travel a long way to land that shot. So it's almost, is Pollard there encouraging Phee? He wants him to throw that shot, wants to see if he can find a home for it.
Good start, good start. Got Billy Rumble there in his corner as well, who's something of a success story himself. Gave up work, life savings, pumped it into the originally the Kent Gloves gym, and then moved on to Rumble's Boxing Academy in Sittingbourne as well. It's a Kent story, it's a self-made boxing story as well, and that's the advice that was in the corner for young Phee. Let's see what he can do into round 2, and of course up to 6 rounds for the first time, George, early on in your career, moving from 4 to 6. What's that like?
Well, it'd be a relief for him, I'm sure, because you want to become a professional boxer, and ultimately to get to the top level, that's 12 rounds, and it's totally different fighting 4 rounds to 12 rounds. Your style has to change, and the longer you've got, the easier it is, believe it or not. Sure, you've got to be fitter for it, but it gives you that much more time to break down the opponent in front of you. And he'll be in a rush. He'll be wanting to get rid of the guys in front of him, want to keep up his knockout rating, which he's got 100% KO rating thus far, and 6 rounds just gives him a couple more rounds, Alex, to find that finish that he wants.
I always think with the young boxers coming through very early on, it's getting into good habits, Andy, but so I suppose striking that balance between being enthusiastic, positive, nay, dare we say it, aggressive, and sort of balanced and taking your time. And I think he's striking the right balance.
Yeah, he looks to be. Everybody loves a crowd-pleasing stoppage an early night, of course, but you do need to try and get some rounds in as well. You want to try and put into practice in the ring what you worked on in the gym. But having said that, if the opening is there, then you need to be able to take it. He's looked for that shot a few times. It's not quite curling in around the back of the guard. It's delivered slightly with the inside of the glove, but he's caught him with it a couple of times. You were talking about man strength there, kind of, between rounds, George, and I always wonder about that because it comes to fighters at different stages. What happened with you? And did you kind of feel it coming on, or did it all arrive in a rush during the space of one camp in a kind of growth spurt, if you like?
Well, I turned professional at 20, so a little bit older than Phee is now, and I just remember the process of turning professional was a maturing one. You felt like you became stronger, maybe became essentially professional, so that was your job, was to be in the gym and to harden up, as well as being much more specific with your work. It wasn't necessarily rushed at the time. I was fighting 4 2-minute rounds, moving straight into a 6 3-minute round contest. But then as you go through the stages, you end up at championship level, it happens again, and then you might end up at world level, it'll happen again. And then sometimes an acid test comes in a fight when you're fighting a chap who drags it out of you and you have to dig deep, and that will certainly mature you and make it tougher as well.
That right hand has largely landed on the left glove of Pollard, but you can see the weight behind it. Even when it's landed on the glove, he's been forced to take half a step back, Pollard.
Be interesting to see, well, he just almost attempted one there, whether he tries to bring him onto an uppercut, because we haven't really seen that yet, and that weight is quite heavily on the front foot. He does lean in a bit, and there is quite a big gap between those elbows for it. So I wouldn't mind seeing Phee measure one of them in the time we've got remaining, and we've got plenty of time remaining. He's got to get quite a lot closer with his feet to do that.
Yeah, that's the thing that was striking me. His distance control's quite good, but he's not looking to quicken those feet towards the target at this stage. That's a good, heavy, solid jab, though, from Phee. Give you an idea. Ooh, wow. Nearly landed a right hand previously, Pollard. So there's a few meaty swings in return from Pollard, and Phee's the 38th unbeaten prospect that he's been in against in, what is it, 67 fights now. Gives you an idea of the kind of role he plays, but the kind of people he's been up against, George.
Yeah, matched hard is Pollard. Yeah, he has to work hard every night for his supper in the boxing ring. Things here, we said, guys, he fights with his weight on the front foot. I haven't really seen that before with him, and there's pluses and minuses for having that sort of style. He's not going to generate as much power on the backhand with his weight already on the front foot.
Interesting though, George, Andy's request to close. He's just closing the gap a little bit, and there's a bit more spite in some of those body shots, Andy. And as I say, we've seen it the last couple of fights. He does go through development plans, and he develops different strategies. I think there's a lot of intelligence from this young man early on as he tries that roundhouse right, but just starting to close the gap and pressurize with the feet a little bit here.
He did try that uppercut, didn't he? And he did come onto it, Pollard, too. He strangled it by dropping his elbows on it, but you're right, he is just looking to build through the phases, which is always good. It's interesting when you look at the record of a fighter like Pollard, because he's only been stopped 4 times, but 2 of the stoppages were in his first 3 fights. And that's quite normal, because away corner fighters have to figure out how they're going to do this. And early on, they've still got that pride left. They still want to win, be a bit too expansive, and then you kind of work out how to go about your business. And there's barely been stopped since then. I'm kind of fascinated by by away corner fighters, always have been.
That was really good. That round there was more energy from him. He picked up the tempo. I think it was off the back of Pollard throwing a little bit more. So it was a sharp response from Phee. He will probably hope that Pollard does let his hands go and then leave them openings for him to take advantage of. It was good work to the body in that last round. I'd like to see him build on that in this round.
He's come out first 20 or so seconds of this fourth round behind a stiff jab. Sometimes, Andy, fans just want fighters to put their foot to the floor, to be busy, almost be frenetic, but there's a lot of control and discipline about this.
Yeah, there absolutely is. No knockdown called there by the referee. There was a left to the body, but he then kind of bundled Pollard to the canvas. You have to work for your openings, don't you? Particularly against somebody like this. You look at his record, and Pollard's not going to give you anything for free. He's not going to be too expansive. He's not going to look to open out and give you opportunities. The referee just having a quick word there with Phee.
I think one of those body shots just strayed a little low, but when you're going to throw as many as he has been so far tonight, looking for constantly, always the possibility.
You have to try and break something like this down. The chances of you taking him out with a single shot, the chances of you taking anybody out with a single shot, they're not good. I mean, it can happen, but it's not something you can ever count on. It can never really be a game plan, as it were. How many fighters like this did you go in with really all in your career, where the idea was that they would give you rounds? You'd have to be patient. You'd have to try a few things, set a few things up.
Did it beat it? I mean, every fighter will face opposition at this point in their career, where the chap in front of them knows he's there to get beat and preferably does not want to get stopped. But I'd like to see, I think, from Phee, just a little bit more authority with that jab, just a little change of pace, change of tempo, a bit more variety with it, and then with that, pierce the guard of Pollard, knock his head back with that jab, sicken him with that jab, and then every other shot can flow from that. Imagine if you're an opponent with a tight guard, but your head gets knocked back, and then the body shot comes in straight away behind the elbow, or the uppercut comes up through the middle instantly. They're the shots that really put you off having a fight with a prospect.
Closing seconds of the fourth, and then it will be new territory for Zach Phee, but he's controlling the pace, controlling the tempo, and he looks pretty comfortable in there as he tries a lead uppercut. Good stuff. Here we go then, into the fifth round, scheduled for 6 for Zach Phee in the orange and black, up against Jake Pollard, the 32-year-old from Brentwood, in the red and white. Clipping right hook to the body from Phee right at the start of this round.
Does he need to put them together a bit more in maybe 5s and 6s, do you think, as well? Because when you're up against somebody with that kind of guard, that tight, high guard, you can't really see a lot. And when the punches are coming in, if they're coming in bunches, then the less he can see, really. I'm just thinking of ways in which he could create an opening for himself, maybe with the 5th or 6th punch of that combination, because he does keep those hands really tight, doesn't he? But the drawback to that is that you can't really see what's coming at you.
Yeah, you would imagine that Pollard, if he's in punching range, and if he lets more than 2 to 3 shots go, he's going to punch with him. He's going to swing something long and loose, and that will be the opening that Phee will need, I'm sure, to land something. But the risk is, of course, getting caught at the end of the shot.
Well, that first minute at the start of the third, where he closed the gap, there's a bit of intensity in the attack, there's a bit of pressure with the feet. I thought he might build that way and almost go through those gears. He hasn't quite done that, but there's a lot to be said in the composure, the discipline, the control as well. And I'm a big believer in creating good habits. It's so easy for young fighters, I think, to go out and try and blast an opponent out when you know they're not necessarily there to win, and you're probably too good for them anyway. I think it's, in a way, this kind of discipline is more impressive to me, but I suppose you've got to sell as well.
Yep, the impossible task of being a professional boxer. You've got to tick every box. You want them rounds banked, that experience gained, but also you want to put on a show. It is show business. So, but he's in there, I mean, he'll be learning so much from this, and it is all just a little bit too comfortable for him at this point. So let's see if he can dial it up a little bit more. So obviously then he gains the experience of...
And is that pace, is that volume, intensity?
I mean, it can be any of those or a combination of all three. But I always, as a fighter, thought, show the guy in front of you a different look, give him a different look. So he's looking at you and he can't work you out. That's exactly what I tell any fighter who is about to box, any fighter I work with, keep giving them a different look. So that includes change of pace, change of tempo, change of power, change of everything. And that's what creates the opening, Dags, that you can take advantage of.
And the kind of difficulty at the weight he's at, although he will move up through some weights, you'd have thought, is that there aren't that many people to fight, and people who are capable of giving you rounds like Pollard are really useful to you, because at some point you will have to make a bit of a leap. That's just the way it is at the lower weights, because you haven't got the wealth of options for opponents you have at other weights.
Does mean that titles kind of beckon sooner rather than later, don't they? And it's important, as Andy says, that you do get the requisite grounding before you make that leap. And so far, I think certainly in the gym we're getting to see the work that they've done. I think he's got a good head on his shoulders. He's got a good boxing foundation, Zach Phee. As he tries that left hook to the body again. Maybe they'll look back on this and say we could have just quickened the feet. We could have closed the gap with the feet a little bit better, but I think we're nitpicking. And let's not forget how solid and tough Jake Pollard is, as Andy was saying, right at the very start. Now with a couple of minutes to go. Good right hand that from Phee. With a couple of minutes to go, of course, Pollard's got his eyes on the next few weeks, working again, getting paid. Just about the first time we've seen Pollard remotely clinch.
Yeah, really good variety here at the moment from Phee. He started to straighten that right hand. A few times it's landed in this round. Then follows it up straight away with, going from head to body. A lot more authority now on the jab. We just see those two, a little bit more to stick on it.
That was good, wasn't it? There's a little feint there, and Pollard bought it, and then he was able to attack with the uppercut. Phee, good repertoire. A little bit busier with a final minute to go. I think we can see already at this pace, in these kind of fights, Fee's going to have no problem at all with 6 and then 8 rounds. Suddenly the crowd getting into it. The volume raises a little with 30 seconds to go.
He just put them together a little bit more there, didn't he? Finished on that right hand, which did curl in around the back of the guard, and maybe looking to finish in style here. But it's a good 6 rounds to get under his belt, this, definitely.
Pollard's defence has been good. The number of times he's seen the body shots coming, he's been able to lean into them. Good 6 rounds, all part of the learning curve for Zach Phee. Controlled the fight from start to finish. Jake Pollard's ultra tough, we know that. I think Zach Phee remains one of Johnny Clark's little diamonds. Andy, first time you've seen him live, what would the report card say?
Yeah, good. You know, you look at his age, he's 19, and that's really, really young. So he's turned pro young for a start. So there's all sorts of things that need to happen for him physically, all sorts of things that will happen. He will fill out, he will get bigger, he will get stronger, all of those things. But the fundamentals are basically there. And I don't think you go into a fight against somebody like Pollard. You don't go into it feeling like you can't stop him, but you don't go into it feeling like you've failed if you don't, because very, very few people do.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 6 rounds of boxing, we go to the referee scorecard. Referee Reese Carter scores the bout 60-54. And your winner, Zach Phee!
What a performance, your 4th fight on a top-tier show. Just sum up your time in the ring there.
Yeah, it was, like I said, if you look back at the media day, I said it's going to be a calm, controlled and clinical performance. You know, they asked me about stoppages, things like that. I said, if it comes, I'll turn the screws. If not, I'm happy to win 60-54. I'm happy to win on a calm, clinical performance, and that's what I've done tonight.
You're still only 19, and this is your first outing of the year. What is the plan going forward for this year? You know, you're showcasing, you're getting valuable rounds in. What is the plan?
You know, I believe my trainer Bill and Charlie and Alex, my manager, the people I have around me advising me, they're very, very clued up in the boxing game, and you know, I just trust them to guide my career. I'm not really too concerned myself because I know they make decisions for me, and like you see, it's paying off.
Final word to all supporters who have come to support you tonight. There's a lot of them.
It was my mum's birthday the other day, and you know how boxing gets. You know, we had the weigh-in Friday, things like that. You know, it was her birthday on the 25th, and I'd just like to wish her happy birthday from me up here. And I'm sorry I missed it, but it is what it is, isn't it? I've got the win tonight.
Well done. It was a great performance.
Thank you, Ali.